you big bald son of a bitch!
Hey guys, Loser08 here. I have a bunch of records to show you. I think about, what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say about like 12, 13 of these records, and a few CDs and tapes that I'll show later on. So let's just run through these as quick as possible, as usual. Mutiilation's Ratten Konig, not the best Mutilation album by all means, but still a very solid release. I absolutely love Mutilation. They are the band that got me back into black metal and back into it in such a heavy way that I'm now drenched in this deep hole, this deep, dark black hole now of nothing but black metal, especially like raw, lo-fi shit. A lot of that can go back to listening to these guys, especially Vampires of Black Imperial Blood, which I think a few updates ago I dedicate like 80% of that fucking video of doing nothing but talking about that specific fucking album and this band in particular. I fucking love Mutilation. It's great to have any of their albums in my collection. So yeah, that's Ratten Konig. Next up is Tides of Awakening by Tyranny. Really awesome, heavy funeral doom metal. I believe Tyranny came from a band called Wormphlegm, who are also tight to check out. But Wormphlegm was a lot more raw and a little bit heavier, just raw, I guess is the best way to describe them. This is definitely a little bit cleaner compared to their early stuff as Wormphlegm, but regardless, still a very heavy, dark funeral doom album. What's next? Warning, Watching from a Distance. A very iconic, one of the best doom metal albums ever, probably arguably the saddest doom metal album of all time. Was able to catch Warning play live at a music metal festival a couple weeks back on Halloween weekend, playing the entirety of this album, which was absolutely amazing. Watching from a Distance, one of the best doom metal albums ever. Yip Jump Music by Daniel Johnston. Speaking of live shows, I was able to pick up this vanilla of Yip Jump Music when I saw Daniel Johnston live in, I believe it was September or early October. And it's pretty weird to have Daniel Johnston album on vinyl, considering, low fidelity music pressed on vinyl is such a stupid oxymoron to have, but it's nice to have a huge physical form of a Daniel Johnston record. And Yip Jump Music is a wonderful album. I'm a sucker for Daniel Johnston. He's a huge inspiration for me in terms of singer-songwriter stuff. So it's great to have some Daniel Johnston in the collection. Bark Psychosis, Hex, the legendary 1994 album. This is a recent reissue. One of the first albums to really be labeled as post-rock back in 94 when Simon Reynolds coined the term. Really wonderful stuff. If you are not familiar with Bark Psychosis and want to get into early post-rock, this is definitely the album to go to. Very reminiscent of, well, not too reminiscent, but shades of later day Talk Talk albums like Spirit of Eden and Laughingstock. Really wonderful ambient jazzy rock album. This is some wonderful stuff here. You can see the record sliding off the hill right there. More experimental rock from 94. This is Jessamine. I forgot the album name. Oh no, I think this is the self-titled actually. Yeah. Jessamine were an amazing early cranky label band that has some awesome experimental, almost shoegazy, almost psychedelic rock tunes. So nice to have some Jessamine albums. Echoes of Battle by Caladan Brood, arguably one of the best summoning ripoff albums of our time. Echoes of Battle, really great production on this. It really encompasses a great sound on it. Really amazing, epic fantasy atmosphere for an atmospheric black metal album. Like I said before, I'm a sucker for the summoning style and sound of black metal, and Echoes of Battle is able to, especially in Caladan Brood, Caladan Brood's able to do a great job at mirroring summoning. Really wonderful album. Next up, another recent reissue, Time Machines by Coil. It's Coil doing drone. You can't go wrong with that. You really can't go wrong with Time Machines there. Pilgrimage by Ohm. Speaking of live bands, again, I also saw Ohm at a festival. I like God is Good. I think that's my favorite one of theirs. Never really been too huge on Ohm, but seeing Ohm live made me appreciate their studio work even more. So it's like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up some more of their stuff along the way. So I was able to pick up Pilgrimage at a record store. This is a really amazing album, but it's great to experience Ohm live. I can definitely recommend that for sure. I just saw this at a record store the other day. Best of Throbbing Gristle, Throbbing Gristle's greatest hits, uh, which is pretty fucking awesome to have. You know, Throbbing fucking Gristle, man. Why the hell not? Foehammer. Now, Foehammer are a local, kind of roughly local band for me. I believe they're from Annandale, Virginia. This is some awesome, awesome doom metal stuff. Check them out if you want to listen to some heavy doom. But yeah, they get bonus points for being local guys. Just some awesome stuff. And lastly, I got Anden and Keiser by Mortiis. These are the recent 2017 Mortiis reissues. Mortiis, the godfather of Dungeon Synth himself, and two of arguably, in my opinion, his best works, pressed on vinyl. Some really great stuff. I've been really enjoying the alternative artwork on this. I believe it was made by, oh, you can zoom in on the artist's name right there, David Theory. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Again, really wonderful albums. If you are new to Dungeon Synth and want to check any albums out, Anden and Keiser, of course, it's not their full names. The full names are here, but it's easy for me to just say the first two words from those album covers. These Mortiis albums, and really any of the other two or era one Mortiis stuff is great work to check out if you want to get into Dungeon Synth. So yeah, so that's the vinyl portion. Let's get into the CD and tape portion. So I got I Shalt Become Wandering, is a really good, solid black metal album. Skin Turns to Glass by Nadja, one of the best of Nadja's prolific discography. Drone Metal and Shoegaze, Aidan Baker and Leah, I always mispronounce her last name, Leah Bukarev. Really amazing stuff here. Dharma by Merzbow, because I need a harsh noise album to get through shitty commuting near DC. And Soundtracks for the Blind by Swans. Picked this up at a record store in Maryland when I was visiting there, which is pretty cool. And some tapes, a couple more tapes I got from Daniel Johnston, Songs of Pain and Don't Be Scared, really cool stuff. And Lenny and Emyn Muil's new album. Again, like I said before, I'm a sucker for the summoning sound. I think Caladan does a great execution of it, and Emyn Muil, also a really wonderful mirror match rip-off guy for summoning. And so, yeah, that is it for the musical update. It's the Loser Who Wait. Peace out, dudes.